Well, today we're going to have a look at a short video here that shows you what you can do with camera controls. And camera controls in particular are very useful if you want to take some photographs at unusual angles, or if you simply want to look around without ever standing up or moving. So what we're going to be doing using camera controls is simply changing the viewpoint of the camera that's currently immediately behind my avatar Pompeia Rakia. So as we change the position and the angle of the camera that's currently focused on Rakia's back, then we will change the view on the screen. So to get going with this, we locate on this bottom button bar at the bottom of the Second Life viewer, we locate the button that says Camera Controls. And it may give you a little hint there that it says it's changing the camera angle. So when you place the mouse cursor on that button, it changes color slightly. It goes from a dark gray to a lighter gray. And then simply left click with the mouse, and it brings up this box called Camera Controls. And there are three buttons on the bottom. The button to the far left brings up a front view, a side view, and a rear view. And that's often what you might use, simply if you want to change from the front view to take a look at the front of your avatar versus the rear view, which is certainly where I like to operate from the most. And this is a familiar position if you run orbs. You'll find the rear view is very familiar to you. Now we can get a little bit more flexibility from just those three views by clicking this middle button. It has a little label on it. It says Orbit Zoom Pan. So we click that and we have these three areas of the camera controls. There's a circular area that looks like a cross. Inside it there's a plus minus slider button, and there's a cross that's within a square. So the circular area is what we're going to actually move the camera around in a circle around the area, and there's a little label on that. It says Orbit Camera Around Focus. So let's take a look at that one first. So if we click on the top arrow of the circular Orbit Camera Around Focus area, that's the circular area with the cross. If we click on that north going arrow, and we just click once with the left mouse button, we see we're gradually changing the position of the camera in an orbit that's going circular around my avatar until it's right on top of her. And then if we click on the south going arrow, the bottom arrow, we can come back to our orbit, back to our original position. So the camera is actually going around a circle in the vertical plane here. It's going up as we click the up arrow, or down as we click the down arrow. Now we have two other arrows in this circular area. We have one that points to the west and one that points to the east. So if we click on the west arrow, now the camera is moving around in a circle again in a clockwise direction, I guess. I've got my clockwise figured out. And we can go all the way around back to where we started. And of course, if you click the other arrow, the east facing going arrow, then we move the camera around again in a circle, a flat circle this time, not a vertical circle, but one in the what's technically called the XY plane, a horizontal circle. We go in a counterclockwise direction, again around our avatar. So that's the camera orbit control there. You can go in a vertical circle around your avatar or in a horizontal circle around your avatar, which means you can go up and down in that circle, vertical circle, or east to west in the horizontal circle. Now the central part of these controls, it says plus, minus, and there's a slider there. Again, place the mouse cursor on that button in the slider and just keep the left mouse button held down. Don't move it once you've clicked it. And now just move the mouse. And I'm moving the mouse in a downward direction. So what we're doing here is we've actually zoomed out, all the way out of the Ganesh temple. We haven't moved, but we've moved the camera in, or the camera focus in that plane. So it's like panning, the action of panning in a camera. I think that's the correct term. No, I'm sorry, it's like zooming the camera. We're zooming the camera out so that we've got a much wider field of view when we're at the fully at the negative position. And then as we zoom in up to the plus, we zoom right in to the field of view. And I'll just back this off a little bit to try and get my avatar here. Now it's a little bit sensitive. Now if you have a 3-button mouse, a 3-wheel mouse with a wheel, you can also use the wheel of your mouse to move, to zoom in or to zoom out. So I'm just rotating the wheel of my mouse, and sometimes you have to click just anywhere on the screen first so that you can change the control from the camera controls to the mouse controls. So now I'm using my circular wheel to rotate in and out, and then I'll use my orbit camera just to give me back my original position. So I'm just doing there a combination of orbiting the camera and zooming out. So these two can be quite useful if you want to take, say, an overhead picture. I'm clicking on the up arrow here on the camera orbit. So now I've put my camera overhead. I'm going to straighten up by moving the camera in the horizontal plane. There we're essentially straight. Can't quite get it exact, but it's not bad. So now I'm directly overhead. And so now if I want to zoom out, let's see what happens. As we zoom out, we get a bigger and bigger and bigger field of view, but now it's above the Ganesh temple. And so I can continue to play with these controls to possibly get some stuff out of the way to take a good picture. Just like a good photographer, you can frame a picture, but you have the advantage here that you have a lot of flexibility where you're actually placing the camera and where you're zooming the camera, whether you're zoomed in or you're zoomed out. There's one other control in this camera control. We have these this cross in the square, and this allows us to move the camera up and down from the up arrow and the down arrow, or left and right from the left arrow and the right arrow. So let's just click with the mouse on the left arrow, and you see now we're moving the camera as though it was on a rail, like a train or a tram. It's just moving in a horizontal direction to the left. And every time I click it, it moves a little bit. And if I hold the mouse down, it moves in a smoother manner. And I'll hold the mouse down on the right arrow, so I'm moving the camera horizontally to the right. And then let's try the up arrow. And we're going up like we're going up in an elevator now. It's straight up. And we're going straight down like we would be going in an elevator, just straight down. So you see, with these controls, we're actually seated in the ashram, in the Ganesh temple, but the camera is outside, and we've increased our field of view, so we have this wide field of view. And we can, with a little practice, make the camera go anywhere we want with those three things. We're changing the camera position either using a circular motion, or we are zooming the camera in and out, or we are moving the camera in a straight line. And that gives us a lot of control. There we go, and now I'm just using my mouse wheel to zoom. Okay, so I hope that's useful for you and you enjoyed that look at the camera controls, and if you haven't tried them before, you've got something new you can try and play with. Thank you.